In the shadow of Sacramento's downtown buildings is an 1860s-era mansion that is seemingly out of place from its surroundings. Welcome to the capital city's first governor's mansion. John Bartell here, making a little pit stop at the Stanford Mansion. While the California state capitol was under construction in the 1860s, the state's 8th governor, Leland Stanford, decided to use his home, a grand Victorian-era mansion, as the state's official reception center for leaders from around the world.
So when you think of Stanford, you might think of the university. If you know a little bit more of the history, you might know that Leland Stanford was the president of the Central Pacific Railroad.
Leland Stanford was a gold rush merchant turned railroad baron who helped bring the Transcontinental Railroad to California. But like many rich people, he used his money to build a legacy for himself by putting his name on schools, hospitals, churches, and even getting into politics. He likes to show off then.
Yeah, definitely.
California State Parks owns the mansion now, but interpreter Allison Park says when Leland Stanford lived here, it was the place in Sacramento to hobnob and party.
So the ballroom, I think we have records of it holding hundreds of people.
With his vast wealth, Stanford decorated his 19,000 square foot house with rare art pieces and ornate custom woodwork that reminded people how he got rich.
So around the house, you'll often see little odes to the railroad. So at the top of this, we have a little relief locomotive.
Stanford's wealth was debatably more memorable than his 2-year stint as governor. In fact, one of his most memorable moments as governor was when the Great Flood of 1862 delayed his inauguration.
There is a story of Governor Stanford leaving out of a window on the second floor, hopping in a rowboat and rowing himself to his governor's inauguration.
Throughout the mansion, you'll find Stanford's collection of horse memorabilia, which includes a collection of cowboy boots, spurs, and then over in the parlor is the historic 1879 Edward Muybridge movie, which is a series of high-speed pictures taken of Stanford's racehorse.
Muybridge set up a series of cameras all along the racetrack and took photos of one of Stanford's horses running and was able to prove that yes, all 4 feet come up off the ground, and it also created the first motion picture.
Some of Leland Stanford's money did go to a good cause. After their only son Leland Jr. died of typhoid fever, his wife Jane Stanford founded Stanford University. And then after Leland Sr. died, Jane funded and operated the university until she was mysteriously poisoned.
A very dramatic, it's still not totally clear who killed Jane Stanford.
In her will, Jane left the Stanford Mansion to the Catholic Church, which turned it into a children's hospital and orphanage.
About 8 decades of children lived here.
In 2005, State Parks completed $22 million worth of renovations on the historic mansion for public tours, and it's still used by California governors today.
Yeah, Governor Newsom likes to use this place for MOU signings, so we've hosted a number of foreign delegations.
From Leland Stanford's desk at the Stanford Mansion, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.